guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to get started off on this video by mentioning I will be in Camden, Tennessee, October 5th and 6th, actually just October 6th, but they're having the Self-reliance Festival October 5th through the 6th. There's going to be a number of fantastic speakers there. Some of them you're probably subscribed to, like Jack Spirko, the Angry Prepper, Bear Independent, and myself. If you're interested in coming out to see what we want to talk about, what we're going to be talking about, you can go to the selfreliancefestival.com. I'll put a link in the description below or pin it to the top of the comments so you can check it out. That's Camden, Tennessee. It's going to be October 5th and 6th. I will only be there on the 6th. So just that Sunday, I'll be there, and there's going to be a lot of great speakers. You can go to the website and see all of the kind of different things that these speakers are going to be talking about and just kind of what's in store. Now, they have like side workshops that you can sign up for additional cost, and some of them look really interesting. So if you're interested in something like that, you can go check it out. But again, I'll put a link in the description below so you can see all the details and decide if you want to show up and come see me and some of the other people out there. It's going to be some great folks. I've never met Jack Spirko before. Kind of looking forward to meeting him. And you've got Bear Independent, who I have met before, and looking forward to seeing him again. So it's going to be a lot of great folks. Okay, just starting off today. Oh, man. We have a Twitter post that I was like, I have to do a video on this. This is absolutely fantastic. And the reason why is because this is something that we see quite a bit in the homesteading community, especially if you've been in it for a while. People who have this romanticized version of homesteading in their mind, where they can have beautiful gardens and all kinds of amazing, cute, adorable animals walking around their homestead. And then they get hit with the reality of what all that entails. Let's take a look at this post. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name right, but it's Isabella Maria De Luca. And she is a conservative commenter or creator or poster on Twitter or X. And I wouldn't really call her conservative. Her posts seem to be sort of conservative, leaning politically. But I'm sorry, when you're posting thirst traps of yourself day in and day out, that's not very conservative. If you don't know what a thirst trap is, this is not the channel for me to explain it. You can go Google that on your own. But she is a thirst trap poster, and there is nothing conservative about that. I don't care where your politics are. If you're going, you can't stand for family values and just good things if you're posting images of your body the way you do. Anyway, all that to say, she's got 395,000 followers, so she's got quite a following. It's probably because she posts pictures of herself in provocative ways. I wouldn't say, it's not like it's porn, but it's just not appropriate. And I'm not going to show any of that stuff here, so you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, my point being, she posted a post the other day that got the internet, at least the homesteading community, all in a buzz. And so let's go ahead and take a look at her post. She posted this video of an apparent homesteader, an obvious homesteader, basically butchering chickens and bagging them up for storage. It says, when I say I want to live on a farm, this is not what I mean. And so, again, here's the video of an obvious homesteader. They have a chicken plucker there. They're butchering the chicken, and they're, plucking it, keeping the skin on. They put it in, here's the plucker. And it goes around and around, And so Isabella finds this absolutely disgusting. She wants a farm. She wants a homestead, but she does not want this. And so, as you can imagine, the real homesteaders out there, had a field day with her comment. Speaking of Jack Spirko, he commented, so you want a big yard and few pets. Which is exactly what this woman wants. She has this idyllic, romanticized view of homesteading and farming, but it is nothing. Farming is nothing like what people who know that farming is nothing like what she wants. Again, this goes back to proper vocabulary. Degenerate Paratrooper says, everyone wants to be a homesteader until homesteader thinks that needs doing. Then it's, where's the nearest store? Absolutely correct. Andrew replies, I was a farmer for 20 years, and this is how it is. Well, it is with chickens, at least. If you're into cattle, then you don't have to do the killing, but farming can still be very real at times. And I disagree. even though I agree with Andrew's, synopsis here. But no, we do kill cattle here. I have butchered a number of cows, both at a lot of different homesteads I've gone to and traveled to. We even have videos on butchering cows. One of the recent ones we did in Oklahoma over at our Patreon page, where you can watch us step by step and how we take apart that animal. And we've done other butchering videos for cattle in the past, some of them which would have been taken down by YouTube, unfortunately. But they're just shadow banned. They sent us a notice that we can't show this sort of thing on YouTube. But anyway, on Patreon recently, we just posted another video on butchering our quail. So if you're interested in that, you can go over to patreon.com and watch that. But now you can butcher your own cattle. It's not that hard. Okay, it just takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of know-how, but there's this sense of extreme accomplishment when you put things like that into a freezer and you have that food set aside for your family and you know where the food came from. It came from you. You know how it was processed, how it was raised, and that gives you a great sense of satisfaction. Next comment. I think you want to live on a petting zoo, not an actual farm. That's exactly what Miss Isabella wants. She wants to live on a petting zoo. I think you want to live in a luxury Airbnb near a farm, actually. I think that's correct too. She would probably opt for an Airbnb near a farm. She doesn't want to actually be on the farm because she's going to see things. She's going to see farm things actually being done. And so, no, it'd be nice for her to come and visit the farm, visit the animals, and just, enjoy the things that are produced on that farm without actually having to herself produce any of it, herself. Victor Nieves says, all hat and no cattle type of post. Yes, absolutely all hat, no cattle. And it gets really fun when she sees all of these comments she's being inundated with. She says, I don't know why some of you are triggered in the comments. I want to live on a farm growing food and petting animals. Beheading and gutting chickens is not for me.
She's going to sink, Captain.
But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
But again, you're not living on a farm. That's not a farm. That's a petting zoo. And it's not us that's being triggered. You are the one being triggered of what actually a farm does. You've been shown this is what a farm is, and now you're triggered because you don't want to do that, but you still want to live on a farm. Again, this is about knowing proper vocabulary. And of course, I responded, so you want to live on a farm, but you don't want to do farm stuff. So what you really want is to live on a resort. And that's exactly what she wants. She wants to live next to that petting zoo. She wants to live next to this place. And we've done videos before on lots of channels, lots of content creators who exist on YouTube and have thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not more, followers. And what they do and promote is basically a petting zoo. We've done lots of videos on people like that before, but they don't understand when times get tough, because that's what's happening, that we're looking at the weaknesses in our supply chain. You're going to starve to death. So the very next day, Isabella comes back and she posts this. My little brother got done with a late workout at the gym and was going to stop by CFA for grilled nuggets on the way home. I immediately told him no. Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets are loaded with seed oils and have nearly 50 ingredients in them. I couldn't let him eat that garbage. Instead, I made him a 1 pound of ground beef, white rice cooked in bone broth with a side of brie drizzled and raw honey. Now, that all sounds great. But she bought every little bit of that at the store. If she did buy it from a farmer, she didn't do actually any of the farm things that made that animal get from farm to plate. See, that's the thing that we're talking about here. This amount of satisfaction that comes with growing your own food, raising your own animals, and then processing that, knowing where it came from, how it was processed, and putting that on a plate at the table. That's what she's worried about. She says it right there in the text. She's worried about all the ingredients in those Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. And there are a lot of chemical, poisons inside Chick-fil-A. Everyone's like, oh, Chick-fil-A because they're Christian. I'm going to go eat there and support that company. They're poisoning you just like McDonald's is. There's no doubt they're poisoning you. So, but my point being is that Isabella, wouldn't it feel more accomplished? Wouldn't you have that deeper feeling of satisfaction if you could raise that cow and butcher that cow and then process that cow and then put that cow on a plate, on a table at some later point in time? I think that would feel a lot better to you. Raising strawberries, we've done that here before too. We've grown lots of strawberries. And strawberries is something that's like a battle. You're constantly fighting birds. You're constantly fighting different, pest pressures that are trying to take those things away from you. And it's really like going into a battlefield every time you enter your garden. On most years, some years are better than others. Some years are worse than others. But you have to get into the trenches and you have to do battle because that's what gardening is like. I'll end off with this. It says, not on our table. Doug and Stacy posted this over, I'm sure it was probably Doug who posted it over at Doug and Stacy. It says, not on our table, period. Eating out will stop and restaurants will suffer. Oh, wait, no, they won't. People are lazy and don't even cook or care where food comes from. Well, good luck to y'all then. And it goes back to Isabella's post. Does she know where that beef came from? She bought it at the store. She bought it from somebody because she didn't do it herself. Because we already know what she feels like when it comes to butchering chickens. So where did that beef come from? She bought it from somebody. She has no idea the history and background of the farmer or the cow that he sold her. Over at Food Safety News, it says lab meat down on the farm. It's going to happen, say advocates. Science fiction down on the farm. What about this? Take some biopsies from live meat animals, put the cells suspended in nutrients in large, I can't read that word, bioreactors, and wait for them to grow. This is what's coming. How does Isabella know that this meat was not grown in a bioreactor? How does she know? She can only hope and pray that what she's seeing on the package is actually real when it says 100% real beef. But isn't it 100% real beef when you take, cells from live animals and then you grow them in bioreactors? You could say that's 100% real beef. And not, breaking any laws because we know, with the FDA and USDA, they're gonna money talks and BS walks. So this is coming to stores, ladies and gentlemen. This is happening. You're going to see this in stores. So the only way you bypass this landmine is to grow food on your own. If you have an issue with butchering chickens or butchering animals, or doing literal battle in your garden for the food that you grow, homesteading is not for you. Get in line, get in the soup lines, get in the bread lines, because that is your future. That's what you're going to be eating. Whatever they serve you, you're going to have to be fine with.
No soup for you.
I have met hundreds of homesteaders over my years of going to different conferences and speaking engagements. And there are a lot of people who really, really struggled with the idea of butchering animals, with the idea of hurting other animals that might be affecting negatively their gardens, because you're going to have to deal with those pest pressures. A lot of them are going to be four-legged, two-legged, ish things. Not two-legged, but not two-legged yet. But someday that's going to happen. You're dealing with pest pressures, and you have to be willing to do that battle. And it's hard. It's hard to, we've got this Disneyfied mindset where everything can just live in basic harmony, and that's not reality. And the encouraging part of all of this is that so many of those people, not all, so many people have risen to the challenge to overcome they realize that they're weak. They realize that it's hard for them because that's a weakness, that they can't butcher their own animals. And they reach deep down inside and they grab that intestinal fortitude and pull themselves up and do the things that's necessary in order to feed their families and feed them good, wholesome foods. That's where we are today. You're either going to rise up or you're not. You're either going to do what it takes or you're going to starve to death like Isabella. She's not going to make it. Unless she can reach deep down and grab that intestinal fortitude, realize that she's weak, realize that she's got a shortcoming, and then overcome that shortcoming. Do the work necessary in order to provide for your family. I have said it many, many times on this channel, and I'm going to keep saying it. And I'll end with this. Butchering animals, the skill to butcher livestock, chickens, all these things, that is the most valuable skill you will ever have as a homesteader. There's lots of great skills that people can have as homesteaders, but knowing how to butcher animals is the most valuable skill that you can have. The reason it's valuable is because it's rare. This is why anything is valuable. Things that are very valuable are things that are very rare. And in our day and age, it's very, very rare to have that ability, that skill, that knowledge, that willingness to do the things that's necessary in order to feed your family. What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments below. There was a lot of comments on that Twitter post from, conservatives who were like, oh no, that's not for me. I can't do that either. Okay. Soup lines. Soup lines for you. What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments below. Also, hey, check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our Stupid Should Hurt shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less stupid. We have an awful lot less people buying their food at the stores. Also, Perfect Pickler kits, again, on sale. We're actually redesigning the website, but the website that's up right now is still the old one. But we're going to be putting up a new website at some point for Perfect Pickler. And check it out. If you want to grow your own probiotics at home, this is the kit to get. Own home-based probiotics that you can just make forever. Awesome. Great. We'll pick up one of these kits today. All right, guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.